Top of the morning, fam. It's the Hood Trucker Fitness. I said I was going to be checking in, let you know the progress. First and foremost, I appreciate you, been on the journey. I got, 71 subscribers as of today. And, this is a journey, right? And it's going to be a journey. And, haven't necessarily been, at times been successful, right? But I'm trying to put together something that is going to be successful, and the trials and the tribulations that I'm going through is building a program, right? And we're gonna share that program once it's completed. Starting out, I said I was going to commit to the water, to not eating the sugar, and there was one other thing. I made a commitment. I forgot what the commitment was, but that's how I go, right? It was the fasting. That's right. So okay, so I've been doing the fasting, so that's been pretty good, right? I'm not going to say, I probably give myself a grade of about a B, right? And some of that is due to circumstances, and sometimes I drive and I get like super hunger pains. So you got to kind of feel that. And then when I'm driving, I guess kind of gave in at sometimes. So, but most days I probably get like 10 hours of fasting, right? When I should stretch it to more like 14 or 16, right? So I do pretty good, like C plus, B minus, something like that on the fasting. The water, I probably give myself a D, right? Because in my opinion, I think what your body does is it kind of regulates, or it figures out how to function with whatever you give it, right? And so, like, a lot of times I'm not drinking the water because I don't feel thirsty, right? But like certain times I'll get cramps or whatever, and I know that's due to dehydration. Or which everybody should do, is you pay attention to the color of your urine when it comes out, and if it's not, like lemonade looking color, then you're dehydrated. So I know I'm dehydrated in a lot of ways, but it's just the urge to drink, it's just not there, right? And so I know that my body has adapted to functioning, at a certain level of intake of water. So I have to kind of like, what's the word? Not like I have to hack that, or I have to go around it, or override it, or whatever, and just force myself to. And then I know that once you start drinking water, you need water, right? Because again, your body adjusts to whatever you do, and if you aren't working on a limited water basis, your body is gonna work on a limited water basis, right? You're not gonna be able to do a whole lot in terms of exercise, because that lack of water is going to show up in the form of, I was getting rotator cuff injury, right? I was getting rotator cuff stuff. I was getting, some back pain, lower back pain. Sometimes you might have pains in the kidneys or something, or pulling muscles, because look, muscles are a big concentration of water, right? So it's like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% water, something like that. Might even be higher, but I know it's a lot of water in there. If you don't have water in your system, if you don't regularly drink water, then your body is going to function in a way that you don't really need a lot of water, and that's why you don't necessarily be thirsty. But you can also get that, your body is able to do that if you're not really active that much. So if I'm driving 8 to 10 or 11 hours a day, and then on the job, like, 12 hours a day, then I'm not doing a whole lot of activity during that time, because I have to be in a chair behind a wheel and driving this thing if I'm going to do it safely. So inactivity is one of my issues, right? And it's by, employment, right? So that's why we are working around the clock to transition out of this stuff, so that not only we can be more healthy, but we can be financially free to do a whole lot of other stuff that I would like to do, like and being physically fit and getting to the gym and hiking and some of these other things, and jogging and that kind of thing. I would like to do, but I can't really do because this job takes up so much of my time, and that's why we are working on putting a program together to deal with this stuff. And I'm learning how to go about fixing some of the problems. So how do I fix drinking water when you don't want to drink water? And I know the reason. Like, for example, I know I'm dehydrated. So it's not that I'm drinking too much water. It's just I'm not putting water in my system consistently enough for my body to know, hey, okay, we're drinking water now. Okay, let's change up some stuff internally, and so that we can handle this influx of water. So, and it's that simple, right? Your body is an awesome machine, and its job is to stay alive, and to do things to you to let you know, hey, this is good, hey, this is bad. Sometimes the stuff that you think is good is not good. Like, that's why we're not taking in the sugar, because sugar's like crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, that first couple of days, oh, by the way, I give myself a C on that, right? So, like, I went like 2 or 3 days, right, without no sugar, and like, I watch this show Intervention, right? And I see why a lot of them people can't get off them drugs. Like, because look, sugar is like, it's like cocaine or heroin or something, right? Like, I literally, like, after 2 days, like every time I stopped at a truck stop or whatever, it was like I was thinking about candy or some type of sugar or something like that. Like, I've already, like I drink black coffee, right? So I already got in tune with that. But it's the other stuff. And I'm also knowing that a lot, that's like sugar, just like drugs, is a dopamine fix, right? So that's why, like, your body gets used to, eating that stuff, and for, getting that sugar high or whatever. And, look, it gets used to it. Like, it's like if you stop drinking coffee, you get a headache, right? So, working on that, and haven't been the greatest, but I don't mind failing, or I don't mind not doing that good, because if I'm gonna be better, then I have to be honest with myself. I have to take a look in the mirror, and all of this stuff applies to every facet of my life. So financial and physical, right? If I'm going to improve financially, then I have to put the work in. I have to be honest with myself, what's working, what's not working, eliminate the stuff that's not working, and do more of the stuff that is. And that's basically what it is. So I'm going to be working on a fitness program as soon as we figure it out. But it's all this stuff is mental, right? And as soon as we figure out, how to hack some of these systems and how to deal with certain things, and it doesn't have to be an all-in-one thing. Like, I'm never gonna lose this amount of much of weight in this amount of time. It's gonna be a lifestyle, and it's gonna be geared towards success and longevity. Because yeah, you can go lose that 90 pounds, restrict the hell out of yourself, and then lose that weight and then go right back, because you haven't fixed the stuff that you need to fix in order to be physically fit for long periods of time, right? And I'm not a really a person that's going to tell you to go out and, you know, buy some of these drugs that make you look certain ways and stuff, because that's not an answer. It's all mental. Even that's mental. Like there's guys that died from bodybuilders who are super swole, they're physically fit and, you know, just jacked, and they still don't think that they look the way they need to, way that they need to look. So it's all a mental thing, right? And we're working on the mental. And then, you know, I'm 53 years old, right? So you know, look, I've done it as a youngster, right? And it's really, I mean, it's, as long as my body physically will hold up, I know we can go back to that. So it's not about a physically fit thing. I just need to figure out how to do it while I'm on the job, which is what most people have to contend with, because nobody has any time to do anything nowadays. Like I got friends that work 10, 12 hours a day, you know, nursing and other jobs and stuff. You know, CEOs of companies and all that, you know, not just maybe more like managers or something, but they work a lot of hours, and you don't have time. Like I understand, like you go to work and all that, and you don't have time. Like you don't want to do nothing because you didn't spend all your energy, you know, at your job. Look, some of that, right? Some of that is diet, right? And if you put the right stuff in your diet, you'll be less tired. All right, you'll be more, you know, more inclined to do the physical stuff. So we're working on all of that, right? And I'm putting the program and I'm jotting it down, and I'm like, well, you know, because if you don't go through the stuff and go through the failures, how can you figure out how to make it a success? Like it's cool. Like you know, like for example, the Dallas Cowboys, when Jimmy Johnson got there, they were like, I don't know, 2-9 or 2-11 or whatever it was, right? They won 2 games. Next year they went to the Super Bowl, I think, or they had a better year and then they went. So you recognize your shortcomings and you improve on them. You recognize them. You be honest with yourself, because if you can't be honest with yourself, like who are you going to be honest with? So it starts with yourself first, and then you can fix the problems. Like I know what I need to do. This is a Monday. I know what I need to do starting on Monday, starting fresh, all that stuff in the past, starting fresh, starting today. This is going to be a better week than last week. And like, you have to like focus, and then you have to tell yourself, I'm going to be better today than I were yesterday. I'm going to be better this week than I was last week. I'm going to be better this month than I was last month. And you just build from that. So that's what we're working on, and that's what we're going to do, right? So just wanted to check in. You know, once we get, you know, really starting, you know, chugging this thing along and we start seeing some results, that's where we're going to really turn this thing on. So, appreciate you being on the journey. Appreciate you stopping by and looking at the channel. We're going to kill it this year. And till next time, stay focused, stay ready. I'm not really changing anything. Oh, you know, just real quick. I'm not really changing anything. I'm going to continue to do what I said I was going to do, but I'm going to do it better. Before we move and add something else in, we're going to do those things better. We're going to get more water. We're going to be focused, be better at with the fasting, and we're going to be better with the sugar, right? And we're going to do those things better. And look, there's no time limitations. There's no whatever. You go on your own time. Look, you master certain things and then add something else, right? So we didn't really master that last week. We're going to master it this week though, right? And once we do that, my goal is a gallon a day. If you're like, but I'm 220 pounds. If you're like 150, but like you're short and whatever, whatever your body composition is, you may not need a gallon. But I mean, I think it's like, I don't know, an ounce per pound. They double it or something. I don't know, but like a gallon I mean, look, it's not that much. It's like, well, I think a gallon is like 8 little 16-ounce bottles or something like that, and you drink 2 of those every couple hours, and within 8 hours you can have it done, right? So you just got to break it up and then figure out a way to get it in your system, right? And however that is, over however long it is, you don't want to chug it all at once, so that's dangerous. But if you spread it out over the day, then you get used to it, and then it'll become basically your program, is what we call it in the penitentiary. You program, right? But anything, it's a program. Like once you program yourself, it's like when people wear wave caps to train their hair, do stuff. You have to train yourself to get to get a program together, right? To where it's a habit and it's every day, and then boom, right? It's just like second nature. And then you move on to something else. Master those things, and you can just start with one. Once you master that, move on to something else. If you can't handle 3 all at once, I mean, the more you can handle at once, the faster you're gonna get there. But if you can't handle, the fasting, the sugar, and the water all at the same time, pick one or whatever. But it starts there, right? Master one thing or master 2 things or whatever. Just getting started, I wouldn't necessarily like run out and go to the gym necessarily. Master those things that you need to do in terms of your diet, because that's one of the easiest things, right? And then you start introducing excuse me. Shit. Then you start introducing stuff, right? I'm talking too much. But then you start introducing stuff, and then it becomes easier because you got certain stuff mastered. You introduce new stuff. This is new, but the other stuff is it's already old and programmed already. So that's how we're gonna do this. So with that, we'll check in again probably next week, and let you know how we're going, and then let you know what we're doing. So once we master something for a week, we're gonna add something else. The thing I'm probably gonna add, if we do good this week, the thing I'm gonna add is probably some type of fitness, something just to get started, like to just barely scratch the surface. Because again, I have a sedentary job, right, where I'm sitting in a seat for hours at a time. And then I'm 53 years old, so we have to be careful so we don't get injured. On top of that, I'm just now, when I master the water, gonna be rehydrating the system. So, it's gonna take a while for that stuff to work in and get acclimated and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so we'll probably do that next week. But this week, we're gonna refocus, and we're gonna get after this fasting, this sugar, and this water. So with that, till next time, stay focused.